down the TI into some new card just to make sure they held on to that total performance crown. And arguably, right, while they're using new metrics to frighten you and confuse you and bamboozle you, and what you've got to do here is, I think, my recommendations in terms of, I just want to talk about features first, right? So features, they got this new suite of stuff, like you've got RTX voice in it. It's like for streamers. You got this camera thing that follows you, like it crops your image in and then it follows you around. That's kind of cool looking. And then they've got like this chroma key thing that they do that uses AI to do all that kind of stuff, and you got loads of other features and stuff. It's really cool. Like there's more features. We knew there'd be more features. DLSS has gone up. There's no DLSS 3.0. Weird, I don't know. Well, we're supposed to get through. There's no NV cache, but there's a new thing which sounds like NV cache. Moore's Law's Dead said NV cache, but it sounds like the same thing. It's using the AI core to decompress data from your SSD really fast, so that you can have like the PlayStation 5 thing on your. And I said this about Big Navi, right? And I wish Big Navi'd come out first, because then I'd look like a fucking genius. I said this. I said, I don't see where this is happening, boys. I don't see any custom, ASIC. I don't see any, risk processor. I don't see any, custom chip that does this. Would it be done on the Would it be done on the APU portion? Would it be done on the GPU portion of the APU? I said this about Big Navi, so I think now Big Navi's going to have a similar thing, right? Because ultimately I said that it was going to happen on Big Navi. Now you're seeing it happen on Nvidia, so it's got to, like, AMD've got to be aware of this somehow. Leaks and industry insight, you got to know this stuff. So it's going to happen, and that's exciting. So those you wondered, are PCs going to be left behind? Not if you have a 30 series card, and ultimately you're going to need PCI Express 4 to get the bandwidth through to do that, I would imagine. So PCI Express 4 you're going to need that for the SSD bandwidth, and you're going to probably need it for the bandwidth through to the card. So ultimately I would say that's where your bottleneck will come in terms of PCI Express 4. In terms of people wondering, will PCI Express 3.0 bottleneck your card? It looks like Nvidia did the benchmarks on a 10900K. So if they did their benchmarks on a 10900K, you would imagine they know that it doesn't bottleneck it. So ultimately, they're the ones that they chose the system to bottleneck it on. The best performance was on it. So if you're worried about PCI Express 3.0, Nvidia thought it was good enough, so you should think it was good enough. Ultimately, the whole launch was decent. It was a decent launch. Disappointed with the 3090s pricing, but as I said before the launch, 3090s for stupid people, or people with way too much money, or for people who just like genuinely, if you earn way too much money, that's for you, right? And anybody else who's like been saving up for a GPU and scrimping and you buy this card, I think you've made a big mistake. I think that's you think you've 30 T-flops versus 36. It's not. It doesn't add up. The math doesn't add up. In terms of where you're going to buy that from, we know that there will be other SKUs, so I'd hold your horses. Big Navi's going to drop. Nvidia's going to drop other SKUs because they have to have. Nvidia cannot lose in a GPU battle. They can't. Still, they can't, right? Because if they lose in terms of price performance, then people are just going to go to ultimately the 70 class card had to beat the 2080 Ti, and it had to be because the 2080 Ti is faster than the consoles, right? 2080 Ti is not faster, but it's about the same performance as, like, in and around the performance of the console. So the Nvidia had to sell you a graphics card for the same price as the consoles, and it had to be in and around that performance, and it seems that it is, right? 52 RDNA 2 cores might be as fast as a 3070. Isn't that something weird to think about? It might be. We don't have. Wait for independent benchmarks, as I said before. People are going to be like, oh, I got to see. Wait for independent benchmarks. Wait to see what you see. Wait for all that kind of stuff, because ultimately that's what I would do. It's exciting. 3090 is kind of. The FE2 X2 thing was throwing me off, and I'm gonna need to do some more reading on that. And when I do some more reading on that, I'll bring you an explanation on that. Ultimately, just delighted that the 3080 is 700 quid, because it's gonna be faster than 28 Ti at 700 quid. You can't argue with that. You just can't. Right? It's shit that we got a $1,200 graphics card, but now Nvidia, and there's none of this Founders Edition real price bollocks either, because I think Nvidia was a bit annoyed with that. I think Nvidia wanted to make the more margin, but they wanted their partners to sell it for cheaper, but their partners were like, and you can understand the partners being like, because like that $1,000 price point became a meme, didn't it? Like, it really did. Like, you never got a graphics card for $1,000. It just never happened. So that Founders Edition bollocks has gone away. That doesn't exist anymore. There's Founders Edition price, and that's the price, right? And that's the way I like it. No 2 MSRPs. That's good. That's ultimately good. Ultimately, 40% faster on 2080 Ti with a 3080. Wait for benchmarks. I'm not quite sure on that number, but I'd say, yeah, I thought it'd be 20%, so it's faster than I thought it would be. And that's because of this FP32 X2 stuff. And yeah, ultimately, just be happy that prices are starting to return back to somewhat normality at that lower, like, not at the extreme, like the extreme, the 3090. Like, that's a Titan. Like, that what they did is they took a Titan, they were going to sell as a Titan, and they had to bring it down as a $1,500 graphics card because they just didn't want to lose the high end, and they knew they couldn't charge $2,500 for it. But ultimately, yeah, the Nvidia probably going with 5. I think I'm still on the choo-choo train. I'm still on the choo-choo train because $1,500 doesn't matter if AMD's big graphics card beats the 3080 by a decent amount and comes in at 12 or 10 or, you know, or 800 quid. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. If it's an 800 quid graphics card that beats a 3080, it doesn't matter. 1,500 quid's priced out of most people's range. It's stupid pricing, right? It doesn't matter. Still on a choo-choo train. I think you're looking at a console. Let's break it down. Let's break it down from this perspective. Looking at a console that will come close. Probably won't beat a 3070, but will come close to a 3070, right? 10%, 15%, right? So that's 52 CUs. AMD have an 80 CU card, right? And not only that, they have an 80 CU card running at 2.2 gigahertz. This is a 52 CU card running at 1800 megahertz. Do you know what I mean? You got to think, where will that card stack up in terms to the 3080? There's a reason why the 3080 went on 102. There's a reason why that happened. Think about these things logically. You got to think about them. But ultimately, yeah, it's not too bad. And yeah, sorry that I've been so rambly, but there's so much stuff and so much things, and yeah, it's better, but it's not the best, is what I would say about the Nvidia launch. Ultimately, wait for benchmarks, wait to see what the good reviewers do, wait to see what Hardware Unboxing Games Nexus say about these cards. TDPs seem to be pretty crazy on the 3080 and the 3090, but they're cool on the like it's 220 watts on the 3070. Like, when I seen that, I was like, maybe I'll buy one of them. Like, that's the first time I've done that with an Nvidia card since the 1070. I was like, ooh, that looks good. That looks good. You know what I mean? So we shall see. Ultimately, you guys have gotten... I've said ultimately about 20 times in this video. Stop saying ultimately. Stop saying ultimately. Stop saying ultimately. But in reality, you guys got a 2080 Ti for 500 quid this generation round in terms of performance. It's shitty you don't get the VRAM mount. It's shitty you don't get that. But look, I'm telling you, Big Navi's gonna hit some price points in between these guys to put some pressure on. Thanks for watching the video. Like the video if you like the video. Ultimately, that will help me get way better exposure. It will help get more. I got 2,000 likes on my last video. If we try and get 2,500, that would be amazing. What was I going to say? Yeah, leave a comment below. Are you happy with this launch? What graphics card are you going to buy? I'm genuinely interested to hear. And yeah, did you like the live stream? If you watched the live stream got 40,000 views. 40,000 views I got on the live stream. That's insane. Thank you to everyone who showed up on the live stream. Thank you to everyone who joined the chat. I stream every single Sunday at 5 p.m. GMT if you ever want to stop by again. Thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you next one. You can do the Patreon thing. You can do the PayPal thing if you want to help me out. You get access to my Discord and you can talk to me every day. And you can do the merch thing if you want to help me out. But you don't want to do either else. I'll talk to you next one. I'll press this button, stop recording. Bye. What is up, guys? It's Paul from Non-Apple Fan here, and I thought I would talk to you a little bit about Ampere again. It's like City season. It's absolutely like City season. First you got leaks, then you got rumor, then you got more leaks, then the leaks back up the leaks, and now you've got NVIDIA showing off the graphics card that we're going to see on the 1st. So literally in a week's time, we are going, from today actually, in a week's time, we're going to see this GPU. We're going to know what it looks like. We're going to hear about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to know its performance. But I thought I would put my hat into the ring in terms of absolute performance, but then just talk about it in terms of things. And ultimately, what I'm going to say is I don't think this graphics card is going to be as wonderful and amazing as everybody else says. But at the end of it, at the end of this video, I want to talk to you guys, my audience, and just be real with you guys. I've gotten an awful lot of shit on Twitter, and I was actually watching a Moore's Law's Dead live stream, and in the comments I was being mentioned, and I just want to speak to some of that because it's just basically bollocks, and I want to talk about it. So if you stick around for that, you can do that. And if you haven't been here before, please subscribe to my video for more stuff. I'm going to do a video on absolute performance of Navi probably after this. So if you subscribe for that, you'll get to see that. And please like the video because that tells YouTube that I'm a better YouTuber than I actually am. So ultimately today, what we got pictures of some stuff inside of a video. So this is the video that they talked about. Now I was going about doing it myself. You can see I was beginning to make up some stuff for you, but then I just realized there's a video card article with it all here. So why bother with that when video cards done all the hard work? Thank you very much, White Cry. But yeah, so like this is basically the video that came out today. It's 8 minutes long. I recommend you watch it. There's some interesting nuggets in there. I'm going to talk about the interesting nuggets that I seen and heard. Number one, here's the power connector. There's the VRAM on the front of the die. I really thought they'd move it to the back because of the condensed size of the PCB. But we know the PCB is getting thicker. They talked about that in the video because of crosstalk with wires. You want to make the PCB bigger so you're syncing layers and stuff like that. And there's you've got your new power connector, your V-shaped PCB. You can see it there. So this is all real. This is happening. There you go. All the leaks were real.